Hey there, it's Bean, and I am going to be cooking some dinner. Some very quick and easy fish chowder, and I just wanted to film it, something different, and see how it works out. I love to cook, and just a couple of tips for you. I like to keep a clean working environment when I'm first starting off, so that I feel that I'm organized and I've got a whole lot of space to use. So as you can see, surfaces are all clean and clutter-free. And then I have a glass of wine, so I am going to, I don't know if I can show the label or the name, but it's a Chardonnay, which is great. So I'm going to pour myself a little bit of white wine, pop it back in the fridge, and most likely I'll be using a white wine with the fish chowder. There you go. Cheers. Very good. And we'll get started in just a sec. Okay, so now I'm just going to chop up my vegetables. I'm going to get my olive oil out. Put some in the bottom. Maybe about 3 tablespoons worth, approximately. And let me set this on high. Now again, this is going to be a chowder, so we don't need to have everything so finely chopped. And they don't have to be, that even or anything like that, because everything's going in a pot anyway. And as tears are falling down my face because of this onion, my eyes are really sensitive. Okay, now I'm cutting the carrot up. The carrot, I try and chop it up in slices, relatively thin slices. Again, this soup, I don't want it to cook very long. This is just a quick dinner that I'm making. Okay, so just to let you know what happened, because this camera wasn't filming right, so I'll just tell you what I've done in the meantime. I put about 3 tablespoons of olive oil in my pot, heated it up, and as I'm cutting the vegetables up, I'm just throwing it in the pot. The oil didn't need to be, extremely hot, because I'm not frying anything, I'm just sauteing it. So I've cut up my carrots, and let me just grab them for you. So the carrot, relatively thin slices. I've cut up my onion, and again, it doesn't have to be geometric or anything like that. It's going into a soup, so it doesn't have to be the same size or anything like that for presentation. My spring onions are going in. I have my pot on medium right now. Again, I'm not frying anything, just sauteing, and I've given it occasional stirs here and there as I'm chopping all this up. Now normally when you're sauteing anything really, the harder vegetables should go in first because they need longer time, and then the softer vegetables like mushrooms, for instance, can go in last. So just chopping my celery now. With the carrots, I did slightly peel them, just using a knife, but you can use a peeler as well, just to peel the outer skin off, just to make sure it's nice and clean. And by the way, with the potatoes I'm going to be using, I'm actually, in this case, I'm going to leave the skin on. The potatoes are relatively new looking. I'll show you. So not a lot of crinkles or anything like that where dirt can get in between. So I'm going to actually leave the skin on because it's healthier with the skin. The skin contains a lot of vitamins and fibers. A toss. At this time I'm also actually going to put the potatoes in. In this case, the fish is actually going to go in last because it doesn't need a lot of cooking time. Okay, so just to let you know, I'm starting to chop up the fish, and my soup is boiling. Ooh, so we're gonna turn it down. Okay, so my fish, what they had fresh today and at not a high price was sole and cod. So I have some sole and some cod. Again, you can use any fish that has been deboned and has no skin, and just go crazy. You can also add shrimp, of course, and scallop. Not a problem at all. I would suggest shrimp without the tail, so then you can just eat the soup and not have to worry about picking up the tail. Okay, so let me just continue chopping this up. When I was mentioning about the fish, and that as long as it's deboned, you know, filleted fish, you're cool. I would caution against using fish like tuna steak, swordfish steak, shark. They're really heavy for a stew. I've actually never cooked with it before. I'm sure it works somehow. But I would go more with orange roughy, turbot. Salmon is fine as long as it's a fillet with no skin, or else you just have to take the skin off, really. While you're cooking the fish, again, cutting it up in pieces. As it cooks, the fish will sort of fall apart once it's cooked, obviously. So, you know, don't worry about the size of the pieces or anything of that. As you know, just keep them mouth size, I would say. They'll fall apart anyway. Just to let you know, I have added some more water to the soup because the stock just wasn't enough. So I just added some water, and I'm just making sure that it's up to simmer again. A little bit of potato put in my mouth, and I can bite it and it's cool. I'm going to throw the fish in. I also have some fresh dill, so I'll chop that up, throw that in at the end, and again, salt and pepper to taste. And that's pretty much it. So I'll show you the finished product in just a sec. Okay, so the dill is washed, and I am just coarsely chopping it. I've taken most of the stem off because, you know, we don't really need the stem. It's not that great. You can use it, I mean, it's no big deal. Okay, and I'm just going to throw that in just like that. Voila. Okay, and the last thing that I'm going to use just to top off the soup, make it a little bit rich and creamy and chowder-like, is table cream. So I'm going to put some of that in. You can use milk, and you can use whipped cream, or half whipped cream, half milk, or, you know, whatever your heart desires, really. You don't even have to put any of it in at all, but this way it just seems more like a chowder. Now, I did not add any wine to this. You could have, and I would have suggested white wine, probably a Pinot Grigio or a Chardonnay. And basically, I would have put the wine in just before I put the broth in. So the vegetables were sautéing. I would have thrown some wine in and let it cook up so that the alcohol evaporates, but you still get the flavor of the wine, and then I would have added my broth. So just to let you know. Alright? Okay, so there you go. It's dinner for one. Nice and scrumptious and healthy. I'm looking at the clock. This has taken me about 45 minutes to make. And I've got a huge pot, so I will be sure to be giving it away as well, because I can't eat it all. And I'm sure to some friends that are going to be appreciative of it. So if you had company coming over, although this actually, the presentation looks quite nice because you can see some of that dill there, but if you want to fancy it up, you can make sure there's like a plump shrimp on top, or some garlic croutons. You know, you can, you know, do whatever your heart desires. Be imaginative, be colorful, and bon appetit. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed this.